Aryan, a young student, walks through the crowded streets, visibly disturbed. His face reflects the burden of the world's suffering. To get some peace, he crosses the street and enters a temple. Aryan kneels before the idol of God, his eyes full of frustration. He begins speaking, almost as if having a conversation with the divine, his voice filled with anger and confusion. Aryan, voice trembling, eyes fixed on the idol. Why, O Lord, do you allow all this suffering? Why do you let innocent animals die in the name of food? Why do you let people cheat, hurt, and kill each other for selfish gain? Why do you stand silent when good people, who strive for kindness, are crushed by the cruelty of this world? His voice rises with emotion. I ask for your help, but no help comes. What are we supposed to do? Why does fate seem so unfair? Why do I feel as if my luck has turned its back on me? Suddenly, an old sage sitting under a tree nearby chuckles softly. Aryan's frustration turns to anger, and he stands up abruptly, walking towards the sage. The sage's calm presence contrasts Aryan's agitated state. Aryan, furiously, questions. What's so funny? I'm speaking my heart out, and you laugh? Do you not see the state of the world? Are you blind to all the injustice happening every single day? The sage, still smiling, looks up at Aryan. Sage, calmly, asks,
Child, what is it that troubles you so?
Aryan, exasperated, answers, What troubles me? The whole world is in trouble. There are wars, suffering, people killing each other, and the innocent are always the ones who suffer. The good are defeated by evil. And God, He does nothing. Why doesn't He step in? Why doesn't He punish the sinners? Why doesn't He help those who are in pain? The sage remains calm and asks a simple, direct question.
Who is suffering in this world?
Aryan, without hesitation. Humans and animals. The innocent are suffering, while the guilty go free. The world is full of injustice. The sage nods slowly, then asks another question.
And who is responsible for this suffering?
Aryan pauses for a moment, then answers. Humans. It's our own actions. We hurt each other. We harm nature. We are the reason for the suffering in the world. The sage's eyes twinkle with wisdom as he asks another question.
Then, tell me this, Aryan, who is the reason for your own failure?
Aryan, taken aback, pauses, replies. I suppose. I am. My choices, my actions, my mistakes. The sage smiles gently, then speaks with quiet wisdom and says,
Then why do you blame God for what humans have done? You see suffering and injustice, and yet you fail to see that it is us, the people, who create it. God gave us free will, the ability to choose between right and wrong. He is not the cause of the pain you see. It is the choices of humans that bring about suffering, not the divine.
Aryan, struggling to understand, asks, But if God is so powerful, why doesn't He intervene? Why doesn't He stop the evil? Sage answered,
The divine cannot force humans to choose good over evil. Free will is the greatest gift, but also the greatest responsibility. We must be the change we seek in the world. God does not impose His will, He offers guidance, love, and support, but He does not take away our ability to choose. It is our responsibility to make the right choices, to act with kindness, to help those in need, and to live honorably.
Aryan stands there, silent, deep in thought. His mind begins to shift as the words of the sage settle into his heart. He begins to understand. Aryan, softly, tells more to himself than to the sage. I've been blaming the world and God for things I can control. I've been waiting for some miracle to change things, but I need to be the one to change. I need to make the right choices, not just wait for fate. The sage rises slowly, placing a hand on Aryan's shoulder and says,
Remember, child, the world is not created by fate, but by our actions. The suffering will only cease when we, as a collective, choose to stop causing it. Change begins with each of us. If you want peace, be peaceful. If you want justice, be just. If you want kindness, be kind.
Aryan nods, understanding now. He ran towards the idol of God, no longer angry, but for forgiveness. He kneels once again, but this time with a sense of peace. Aryan with folded hands and tears rolling down from his eyes. Please forgive me, my Lord, you gave us everything to live a great and rightful life, but still we humans with our unconscious depending on you and blaming you for everything thing. From now I'll depend on my own actions and I'll work hard with all my strength for the righteousness. Aryan goes back to the tree with a new energy but gets shocked. The sage had disappeared from there. Aryan searched for him inside the temple but he couldn't find him. There he saw a priest and asked him about the sage. The reply from the priest wondered Aryan. The priest said that there was no sage in the temple. I saw you talking to yourself. Aryan in a shock thought that God heard his questions and himself came to show him the right path. As Aryan leaves the temple, there's a new light in his eyes. He looks at the world with a different perspective, ready to act with responsibility and compassion. This story explores the themes of responsibility, free will, and the power of individual actions in the face of global suffering.